dear students. The previous class we were discussing the two kingdom system of classification, where the entire living world is classified into two groups, that is plantae and animalia. Under plantae, as I mentioned, all the bacteria were placed under plantae, all the fungi were placed under plantae. All types of plants along with the bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms and algae were placed under plantae. Animalia had protistans, vertebrates and invertebrates. And we have also discussed the criteria for the classification. And the two kingdom system of classification that was proposed by Carolus Linnaeus was in practice for a long period of time. But as the study in the field of science progressed, and because of the invention of new instruments and new methods to study the living organisms, the scientists started finding out many demerits in the two kingdom classification system. So, we will see what are the demerits. Demerits means drawbacks or disadvantages. Demerits of two kingdom classification. Demerits of two kingdom system of classification. The first demerit was that it did not differentiate between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. It did not differentiate between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Now, what does the word prokaryote means? And what is the meaning of eukaryote? And dear students, you all might have studied about the cell structure in your school days, right? And an important component of a cell structure, as you remember, is nucleus. Nucleus is a structure that controls the functioning of entire cell, isn't it? So, whether the nucleuses are the same kind in all the living organisms? The answer is no. The nucleus vary in certain group of organisms. The prokaryotes, the prokaryotes are all those organisms in which nucleus is not well developed. So, in these group of organisms, nucleus is not well developed. What does that mean? Say, if you all remember, nucleus is a region where the genetic material is present, isn't it? So, pro means initial, carry on means nucleus. Prokaryotes are the group of organisms in which the nucleus is in the initial stages of the development. That is, the genetic material, that is DNA, is present in all these organisms. DNA is present. DNA is the genetic material, as you all know. But this genetic material is not present inside the nucleus. Nucleus is a membrane bound structure like this. It will have two membranes like this. Nucleus. It will have a fluid inside which is called nucleoplasm, and in the are the examples of the prokaryotes. And if you recollect the previous class, all these bacteria are placed along with the plants, isn't it? Right? They are placed under the kingdom Plantae. But when it comes to the nucleus, they do not have a nucleus at all. They don't have a nuclear membrane, or the genetic material is not covered by a nuclear membrane. So, instead of calling that structure as a nucleus, we call it as a nucleoid. Region where the genetic material is present is called nucleoid, and all these prokaryotes do not have a proper nucleus. Whereas eukaryotes, the term "eu" means true, karyon is nucleus. Eu means true, karyon means nucleus. Eukaryotes are all those organisms in which proper nucleus is present. All those organisms in which proper nucleus is present, except bacteria. All the fungi have proper nucleus. All the protozoans have proper nucleus. All the protistans have proper nucleus. Algae have proper nucleus. All the different types of plants and animals also have a well-developed proper nucleus. Or you can say the genetic material DNA is present inside the nucleus like this. It will be the genetic material or the chromosomes where the DNA is present are present inside the nucleus. Now, if you compare this criteria or if you correlate this criteria with the two-kingdom classification system, say bacteria that do not have a proper or a well-developed nucleus are placed along with the fungi and plants that have well-developed nucleus. So, this is a major drawback. So, when it comes to writing a general characteristic feature under kingdom Plantae, you cannot write that all the organisms have well-developed nucleus because you have exception there, right? The second drawback of two-kingdom classification is that the two-kingdom classification system did not differentiate between unicellular and multicellular organisms. It did not differentiate between unicellular and multicellular organisms. That means unicellular organisms are the organisms where single cell represent an entire organism. Single cell represents the entire organism. That means, say, if you recollect studying euglena, right? How many cells are present? Only one cell. Recollect studying paramecium. How many cells are there? Only one cell. All the bacteria, they are unicellular. That is, entire organism is made up of single cell. Whereas when it comes to fungi, when it comes to various types of plants, when it comes to various types of animals, they are made up of group of cells. In your own body, there are millions of cells, isn't it? That means you all are, or I am, a multicellular individual. And go back to the two-kingdom classification system. The bacteria that are unicellular were placed along with the plants which are multicellular. So, there also you cannot draw a general criteria for the classification. It failed to differentiate between the unicellular and multicellular organisms. Then the third drawback of two-kingdom classification system is that did not differentiate between photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic forms. Photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organisms. Again, photosynthesis is a process where an organism is capable of synthesizing its own food using inorganic components such as the water and carbon dioxide and using the sunlight as a source of energy. As you know, all the algae are capable of carrying out photosynthesis. All the plants are capable of carrying out the photosynthesis. And what you don't know or what you have to know is there are certain bacteria that are also capable of carrying out photosynthesis, which are called blue-green algae or cyanobacteria. Now, if you look at the examples that are there under the kingdom Plantae, we have bacteria, we have fungi, and we have different groups of plants, isn't it? So there again under Plantae, the fungi has come, which are not photosynthetic in nature, isn't it? So considering all these drawbacks, the two-kingdom classification system was rejected. Though it was practiced or it was followed till very recently, till the 20th century, after considering all the drawbacks in the two-kingdom classification system, it was rejected. And you need to study this. Why you need to study this? Because two-kingdom classification system was a first ever attempt to classify living organisms based on scientific background. Some scientific characters were considered here. Say this could be the presence or absence of a cell wall, or response to the stimulus, or whether they are capable of moving or not. All these were considered. So when it comes to a competitive exam, also two-kingdom classification is very important. So you may often have to answer the questions like who proposed the two-kingdom system of classification, or they will give you many options, certain criteria. They will give you 5 or 6 criteria and will ask you to find out the criteria that were considered to classify the living organisms into two-kingdom classification. Right? The criteria, as I said, you can write it. Whether the cell wall is present or absent, or locomotion, or whether they are capable of synthesizing their food or not. All those criteria, along with their response to the stimulus, was also considered. Apart from that, you may have to face the questions like, under two-kingdom classification, the bacteria were placed under kingdom Plantae. The main reason being the presence of cell wall, right? So since the bacteria had a cell wall in them, though they did not have a proper nucleus, though they were unicellular in nature, though many of the bacteria were not capable of carrying out the photosynthesis, they were placed under kingdom Plantae just because they had a cell wall. So the right answer will be presence of cell wall. Like this, you will have multiple choice questions in this topic. Then after two-kingdom classification system, one more scientist by name Ernst Haeckel proposed three-kingdom classification. Three-kingdom syllabus. You need to study because it will help you in the competitive exams. Whether you take a KVPY exam or a NEET exam, questions may be asked on this. Ernst Haeckel proposed a new kingdom called Protista. He proposed a new kingdom called Protista. The earlier two kingdoms, that is Kingdom Plantae, Kingdom Animalia, were retained. Along with this, a new kingdom called Protista was proposed. Under Protista, all the bacteria, all the fungi and other unicellular eukaryotic organisms were kept. So what he did, the Ernst Haeckel, he took out bacteria from Kingdom Plantae, right? Then he took out all the unicellular eukaryotic forms from the Kingdom Plantae. Then a new kingdom was created, which is called Protista, was created by Ernst Haeckel. What question you may expect in this? Name the new kingdom that was proposed by Ernst Haeckel. Again, here also you can see we cannot come into a general conclusion because these are prokaryotes. These two are eukaryotic in nature. There is no proper nucleus. Proper nucleus are present. Some of them are photosynthetic. Some of them are non-photosynthetic. Hence, this was also rejected. Then, one more scientist by name Copland proposed four-kingdom system of classification. He proposed four-kingdom system of classification. Earlier three kingdoms were retained, that is Kingdom Plantae, Animalia, Protista were retained. A new kingdom called Mycota was proposed. What organisms were included in the Mycota? All the fungi were included under kingdom Mycota. These were eukaryotic. Majority of them were multicellular. We have only few exceptions. They were multicellular. Cell wall was present. And all of them were non-photosynthetic. All of them were non-photosynthetic. So, a new kingdom called Mycota was proposed by a scientist called Copland. Now, what is the disadvantage? You might ask me, ma'am, everything is removed now. Everything is separated, sorted out now. Why again this was also a failure? This was failure because of the kingdom Protista. The kingdom Protista had both prokaryotes and eukaryotes. It had both photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic. Hence, the four-kingdom system of classification was also a failure. But again, you might expect questions on this. Who proposed a four-kingdom classification could be a one question. Or name the new kingdom that was proposed by Copland, which is a Mycota. Or name the organisms that were included under kingdom Mycota. kingdom Mycota, all the fungi that were eukaryotic in nature, that is proper nucleus was present. All of them were non-photosynthetic, that is not capable of synthesizing their own food. And except for few like yeast, majority of them were multicellular in nature. So, this was about the four kingdom classification. Then, with the advancement in the field, science field, attempts were in continuous attempts were made to classify the living organisms and narrow down the differences that were present in them or increase the similarities that were present in them. Attempts were in progress, and as a result, a 5-kingdom classification was proposed. The 5-kingdom system of classification, which was proposed by Robert Whittaker, considered various criteria to classify the living organisms into different groups. He considered morphological characteristics, he considered anatomical characteristics, anatomy, that is the internal organization. He also considered body organization of the organism to classify them, their nutrition level or the nutrition mode, what type of nutrition they carry out, the presence or absence of the nuclear membrane, the cell type, whether they are unicellular or multicellular, all these, and the cell wall, whether the cell wall is present or absent. If present, what is the chemical composition of the cell wall? All these criteria were considered by Robert Whittaker to classify the living organisms into 5 kingdom, which is a very important method of classification system. The details of the 5 kingdom classification system we will be studying in the next